Yeah, so basically there's a couple of myths around concussion. You know, probably the biggest one is that you can't have a concussion if you've not been knocked out. But we know that probably only around 10% of concussions actually result in riders losing consciousness. And if you think about your brain as effectively being a jelly in a box, if that jelly gets rattled around within that box, some insult to the brain may well occur, and consequently, even from significant whiplash type injuries, you can get concussion symptoms. You don't necessarily even have to bang your head in order to sustain a significant concussion. In terms of the symptoms or how it might present, the obvious ones are obviously if people are knocked out, or alternatively when they get up after their crash, they're very unsteady on their feet, or they might complain of dizziness or nausea or memory loss, being disorientated, not knowing quite where they are, for example. But what we find is that there's a myriad of other symptoms associated with concussion, and quite often people report to us as saying they just don't feel quite right. They may feel more anxious than they would do normally. They may feel more sad and emotional than they might do normally. And the key thing is that some of those symptoms may not present until 24, 48 hours until that time after the crash. Quite often we hear from riders that they'll report to us a day or two later and said, yeah, my appetite's down, I slept really poorly, I just don't feel quite right. And it's those more subtle symptoms that I think traditionally have been misunderstood and missed. But in terms of our understanding and knowledge now is that all of those symptoms represent a potential insult and injury to the brain.